So, why did you choose this profession that you're in right now?
Um, I would say the primary reason is I like helping people and assisting them with their health care was important. So there's certainly a need in our communities for people to be educated and understand what's going on in their lives. And so I wasn't really the clinical type. I was more, I like working with the people in terms of administration and managing and leadership and those things.
Okay, so how long have you been working in this field?
30 years.
Okay. So how'd you start out?
So when I finished out at ASU, my degree was in healthcare administration. And I took a position with a nursing home company. And that's where I received my training. So I went through training with them for about 6 months and then worked my way through as an assistant administrator of a nursing home and then eventually became an administrator of a nursing home. So that's my healthcare background. Then I moved at St. Bernard's in 1989 and been with them ever since, so about 27 years with St. Bernard's, various positions with St. Bernard's, anywhere from inpatient type care to outpatient type care, long-term care services, anything along those lines.
So, what advice would you give to somebody that's trying to pursue this profession?
So my advice would be to have a good understanding of how people need to realize what good health means to them and what they need to know about healthy living because there are so many folks out there that are just illiterate about what they should be doing to be healthier. The second thing is you got to understand how healthcare is paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's changing. Healthcare is paid for in a lot of different ways, either by the government or commercial insurances. And so you have to have a pretty basic understanding of how that works because it's complex. And you can become quickly frustrated if you don't understand that we have a lot of people who are non-compliant in healthcare. They don't understand healthcare. They don't understand how it gets paid for. So all of that's a frustrating issue. So if you're going to get into this profession, you have to be willing to understand those things.
Right. So, what would you say would be a good experience, whether paid or unpaid? So, kind of.
Yeah, so a good experience is for people to come to realization what they can do for themselves and promote their health better. So we do a lot of community education for people to help them understand whether it's a prenatal type situation,
Mm-hmm.
they're pregnant, they don't understand how they should be taking care of their bodies when they're pregnant, or all the way to the end of life. So a lot of people, when they come to the end of their life, they don't have caregivers, people to help take care of them. So we do a lot of that to help caregivers take care of somebody dying. So it's from the beginning of life to the end of life, and in between. It's really satisfying to us to be able to help people in those areas.
So, what is the most exciting part of your job?
I would say the most exciting part is for me to give people that report to me, my staff, my team, the tools to make them be successful. So when I can look back and say, I'm helping them to be successful in their career or successful in their delivery of the health care that they provide, that's what satisfies me, that I help them with those tools.
Okay. So, what are some incentives of your job? Do you have any flexibility in your work hours or in your dress code? What does that look like? No.
No. I'd say the incentives for me is the rewards that I get when people feel successful about their job. So I have a lot of people that will report to me, and it's important to me to give them the tools, to give them the opportunity to be successful in their career and their delivery of healthcare. So my flexibility is I get to see a whole lot of different people and work with a lot of different, from physicians to somebody that works out in yards and grounds and all in between.
Okay, so how did your job here kind of shape your everyday life? Did it have any change, or what does your typical day look like, I guess is what I'm asking.
Okay, so my typical day starts about 6:30, 7 a.m., generally checking with my direct reports throughout the morning, kind of seeing what their challenges of the day might be. At that point, generally, I'm thinking about strategic issues, what things we might want to accomplish for the week, for the month, for the year, or the next 5 years. So developing those strategic thoughts and ideas and planning, and then trying to, at that point, communicate those, get buy-in, lead a team that can execute those visions that we have. So throughout the day, I'm working with a lot of different people, trying to figure out how to execute those plans. Generally will take me into at least 5:30 or 6, and then a lot of times if there are teams that, so if it's a team of physicians, they're going to be busy during the day, so we'll have a lot of meetings at night in order to be able to talk about the desires and visions that we have for them, how to execute that.
Okay, so are you kind of at the top of like the growth? Like, can you go any higher in the job?
So I report to the CEO of our organization, so that's where I'm at.
Okay. So are there any written materials that you would find particularly beneficial for somebody wanting to go into this position to read?
Sure. So any professional publications such as Modern Healthcare would be an advisory board. We call it the advisory board. Puts out a lot of publications. Harvard Business Review puts out a lot of healthcare publications. But then there's a lot of local stuff. Anything that's healthcare related would be of interest that we take a look at and read.
Okay. And so if your job were to be eliminated for whatever reason, what would you say would prepare you for another job?
Probably 30 years of experience would be where I'm at this point.
And where would you think you would translate well into?
I would probably consider going into a consultative role after this many years. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate your
You're
time.
welcome. Yeah.